Let's get good. This is Endless Space 2 Awakening, and we are playing as the virtual saint worshipping Vodyani. We have maximum essence, guys. Maximum essence, which means it's time to put out another arc, although I could have swore... No, we haven't actually sent one to Bracia yet, but that is the goal. The goal now is to build an arc and send it to Bracia. However, I do want to take a second because you Double Bullfrog from Reddit, as always, has my back with the hot tips. So the module he was talking about last time, or I was talking about last episode, that makes core crackers better is this right here, Holy Vestments, which gives essence gain per opponent destroyed 2 and core cracker charge time -1. Now you can put that on jugs, but you can also put it on arcs, I believe, and you can put up to 4 of those on there, which gets the core cracker down to 1 turn. It'll just blow up a planet, and then you can get a ton of essence with these modules right here. Yeah, the Blessed Salvagers. So that's lovely, and that actually, I guess, provides enough essence on its own to just make it worth building that arc, so that's something we'll be looking at in the future. But the other thing that he told me about, and this is multifaceted, the power in the arcs doesn't just lie in them being systems or being super mobile. What really is powerful about the arcs is their ability to be mobile bases, essentially. Like, you can fly them to a system, have them anchor, repair all of your fleets, and then unanchor. If your home system is being hacked, you can unanchor the system to break the hack and then re-anchor it. There's all sorts of nifty little tricks that you can do with the anchoring and unanchoring of arcs that makes the Vodyani a little bit more powerful, and they're things that I haven't necessarily done in the past, so we're going to be playing with those as we go through this series as well. Bura Tech Seeker has leveled up. Let's go ahead and give him a new skill. Absolutely more resource deposits, please. All the more resource deposits. We like resource deposits a lot. In fact, we just got a bunch of super spuds. That should absolutely help us out. Do we have enough to boost our population now, or did we just get the increase this turn? Okay, we just got the increase this turn. Very soon we'll have enough super spuds to boost. Woods Fez has leveled up. More food in production, please. Thank you very much. Pi has gained a level. Lovely. Pi is awesome. We love Pi. Production, please. Okay, so heroes are leveled. Let's go take care of our systems. Columba is open. Does not need Holy Proliferation, is stacked up. Columba might be the system we build an arc in. First, I want to go through here, though, and make sure that we don't actually need Holy Prolif. We do not. This will have a new population in 1 turn, so there's absolutely no need to use Holy Proliferation there, which means that Columba is ideal for building our next arc. Now, we could go, like I was saying, into some of those more combat-oriented arcs right here, but I feel like, in this case, because we have open systems to grab, and Bracia is a wonderful, wonderful system, it does actually make sense just to go full movement here, stack this arc up, and send it off. We should probably put armor and stuff on it, though, honestly. Like, for a minute I was like, maybe we want to put armor on here. We want to put armor, we want to make sure that this is safe. We do have a ton of Hyperium, so we'll go ahead and put some lasers and beams on it, I think. And then in that last slot right there, if we have squadrons, it makes sense to maybe put some squadrons in there. The biggest problem we're having with squadrons is I'm not actually sure how the targeting for fighters works. Apparently it's part of the battle plans, but we haven't really seen anything about those battle plans. It may be something we have to look at in advance when we're laying out our battle plans that tells us, like, where those fleets are going to go, because they have, like, an offense and a defensive setting, and it's a percentile based on the strategy you pick. So we have to find that to understand how that works better. At least I'd like to. You know what, for right now, I'm just going to take that off and put projectiles on, because we know for a fact that projectiles work against bombers. Okay, lovely. So that arc should be ready to go. Columba, now is the time. Print me an arc. Okay, that will be out within the next turn. Yeah, easily. Which means we should actually put something else in queue here as well. We'll just go for public 3D printing for the moment. We could very easily just start mass-producing ships here if we wanted to, but we're not really there yet, primarily because of resources. If we had more resources, I would just start printing carriers right now, but we're not at that point yet. We do not have the resource income on antimatter to get there just quite yet. Which is interesting, because it means that any system that has antimatter is a system we should be making sure also has all of their resource gains built. See, this one is doing it now, but it doesn't have antimatter. This system should have it already. It does indeed. Who else has antimatter? You do! Do you have those improvements built? Not yet, but I'm guessing they're in queue? Wait. No, they're not. They are now. They are now. We absolutely want those in queue. We want as many of those resources generating as we can get. Adamantium is much the same, so if we don't have it here, we want it here as well. It is in queue there already. Lovely. And how about right here? Looks like it's already built right there. Okay. Just making sure about that, and I believe we're on our way to the mech suit quarter, which will give even more resources. We're basically in the resource farming phase right now, and we did get our anti-cloaker modules because we're trying to find the Umbral Choir up top. Once we get our next research, So I still like shelf to shelf because that does give a ton of production, and I like this because it'll give us better luxury resources for our next system upgrade. But at the same time, I kind of want to dip over here and grab this real quick so we can play with it. Maybe here? Maybe we go like that. I think that's a better order right there. This will give us access to those Juggernaut blueprints very, very quickly. In addition, we'll also get our Deep Epoch scanning so we can find those better luxuries very quickly. And then after that, we'll get this nice sort of win more production, and then also Super Biofuel Factory. Super Biofuel Factory gets moved back a very far distance here because we do not have the ability to terraform planets. And if you can't terraform planets into planets that produce more food, it's not really as great as it is if you can. Quite simply put, that's why we're not prioritizing that a little bit more. Market-wide price increases, that's fine. Latest political survey, we are extremely religious. Extremely religious. I'm so surprised by that with the Vodyani. Let's bop over to the marketplace and see if there are any heroes available. There are, and it's a counselor. We would really, really like to pick up Ruthian. That is the type of hero that we want for sure because he does boost luxury resources, and that, as we've seen, is something that can be very, very beneficial. Thanks, Loud Truck. Can be very, very beneficial over time, for sure. I wonder if we can sell anything to get closer to where he's at. I mean, resources are expensive. We do have a high quantity of quadronics here. I'm not exactly ecstatic with the idea of selling any of the quadronics. However, how much are we generating a turn? We're generating 13 a turn, so we can reasonably sell some of this. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to sell that. I'm going to get Ruthian. He's absolutely worth it. With that increase to luxury resources, he becomes one of the better heroes we can potentially pick up at this moment. And where do we want to place him? Obviously, where our super spuds are at. More super spuds is a great idea. Although, I guess when we did the math, we already have enough super spuds coming in to make sure that we hit our pop booster every time it comes up, so maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe instead, what we want to do is put him somewhere that generates another resource we need, which in this case would probably be Deciduous trees. Because we're generating quite a few of the Void Stones. Yeah, we have a ton of Void Stone. We don't have enough of the Deciduous trees quite yet. So let's look and see if we can perhaps move Dmitry Lenko somewhere else. Potentially somewhere with more production already. Yetix could be a good option here for him, although Yetix doesn't seem to necessarily have more production because these systems, you have to remember, they have less production because they're set to public 3D printing. Like, if we put anything in queue right here and check, then that goes way, way back up to the top. So let's look more at systems that are highly developed, because those are the places he's going to be most useful. We could send him over here to Sing, actually. That works for me. Let's go ahead and send him to Sing. And then he just came off of a system that had Deciduous trees, which was Nair, I believe. Yes, it is. So we'll throw Ruthian F11 Tiggy in there. And while we're at it, let's go see if he has some skill points to spend, which he should. He is a counselor, so this additional happiness isn't going to be super useful. We'll go for this production and dust. Yes. Lovely. And very soon he will be able to provide additional luxury resources to us, and that will actually increase the value of that system as a whole, because it will give us a bit more of those Deciduous trees. Looking good. Okay, that's very nice. I like that we got another hero going for that, because that is actually very important to keep those luxury resources rolling in, especially with the mistake I made here by using a tier 1 resource on, you know, a tier 2 upgrade. That's okay though, because hopefully we will have enough tier 3 to go with for this. See, like, if we use this one, it's going to be 48. Now, I believe that Ionic Crystal is more of a tier 3. No, it's a tier 2. I guess If I was smart, I would just look at these and go, hey, look, they're actually organized in tiers. Yeah, see, so this one only takes 24, and it gives plus 15% production. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. We do want to get more of these, though, before we really go all out on that, so I'm going to back out. I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to wait till we get our scanning tech so that we can start scanning stuff down, and we may want to start building fleets to begin that scanning process here, realistically. Do want to shoot here. That was a mistake. Did not want to shoot there. We are probably going to lose a good portion of this fleet. I should have actually checked our health a little bit more before I did that. Do we have another fleet here, though? Oh, we do. I just attacked with the wrong fleet. That's what happened. I just attacked with the wrong fleet. We could retreat here, but honestly, this fleet is pretty weak anyway. If it gets burned, it gets burned. I believe these are all... Yeah, these are all Tier 1 ships. That's where the mistake was made. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use this as an opportunity to go in and see if we can... Well, we don't have any bombers in this fleet, so it's probably not going to show us on the strategy, unfortunately. That's what I was hoping we could do, is look at that. But that's not going to happen. We do probably use primarily lasers. We do, so going to medium range here makes the most sense. Unfortunately, going to medium range like that doesn't actually give us much in the way of defenses or anything, so we're probably just going to get popped before we even get there. Let's go whelp a fleet. Wham! Yeah, we just totally whelped that fleet. That was a huge mistake on my part. I clicked on the wrong fleet there. It'll be okay. Honestly, we have this medium fleet here just waiting to pound, so it's fine. Yeah, see, this is going to be a much different fight. If we go into advanced here, once again, we do not have any bombers or anything, so we can't really see the effect of that. What we do have, however, is the option of determining where we want our fleets to be on range. So I'm actually going to put the majority of our ships here, mainly because we do not want them over here at this long range. In fact, the only one I think I'm going to put in long range is probably our hero, because if he dies, it doesn't really matter. Everybody else is going to be more effective at medium range anyway. We'll probably do something like that, just to split it up a little bit more. I may throw this cardboard shield down here in the long-range fleet as well, just so that they have something to shoot at and it takes longer for them to eliminate that flotilla. I think that's a good idea. Alright, let's see how this one goes. Decisive victory. Oh, they ran. Okay, well, I guess that's still a win, right? A win is a win. We will be able to invade this soon and make it into a hunting ground. Were they able to reclaim this before we really got to hunting ground? Is that what happened? Because it's not a hunting ground now, and I know that we had just made it into one. It's very interesting. Weirix is set as a hunting ground, but we traded for Weirix. That's even more confusing to me. Alright, you know, it is what it is. Super confused by that, but that's okay. Zakor, though, does not seem to be a hunting ground anymore, which is rather annoying because we just hunted them. But once again, it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it too much. In the meantime, we are still shooting Riftborn, which is a nice feeling. Okay, so here is the hero that we want to put our anti-cloaking measures on. Let's go ahead and see if we can find those. Anti-cloaker right here. That is what we want. Now, where do we put it? So the problem is that if we give him this, then he's going to lose some movement. And there's not a whole lot we can do about it. He either loses his fleet booster, or he loses his engine. Either way, the fleet as a whole will lose some movement. Sort of unfortunate for us. What would make more sense, I think, here to do, and we're going to do that, is take a look at this hero, give him the anti-cloaker, and then swap the fleets. That makes a lot more sense, I think. Yeah, he's got an extra slot right here with that plasma intensifier, so let's do this. Let's unassign him here. And then let's come up here and unassign this guy. Go ahead and say, Esseb Volteros, where are you, my friend? Where are you? There you are. You're going here. We're gonna go ahead and retrofit your ship. We're gonna give you an anti-cloaking module. Apply the design. Lovely. You should be all set to go look for the Umbral Choir now. There is a Sophon ship here that we could shoot at, but there's really no need to. It's basically just a scout. Instead, I would much prefer to go look for the Umbral Choir, so let's head up here and try to find them. The first refrain's hidden home system found. Just like that, we got him. Just like that, you discovered the planet Nexus. Oh my, they have a lot of things here. They have a lot of things here. There are just behemoths after behemoths. All they seem to have built is behemoths. There's something interesting to be said about that. We have 7,000 power here. How much power do these guys have? Holy moly. That's a lot of power. That is a lot of power. Okay, we need to get out of this system as quickly as possible. We want nothing to do with fighting with them at this moment. That's just a terrible idea. However, we did locate their system very, very quickly. Probably quicker than we wanted to in this case, because they are just stacked right there, and that's actually scary. And I think that that is a good indicator that we need to start building some combat fleets somewhere, as well as gathering more antimatter. Gathering more antimatter is now going to be key, because we really need to get prepared for this fight, because it does look like it is going to be that, just a flat-out fight. What is this Econ Behemoth doing? It's just boosting. It's just flat boosting. Oh my, did we not upgrade that, or do we not have the upgrade, or is that the most upgraded version? I suppose that could be the I haven't actually used one of these, like, I'm gonna sit here and collect resources Econ Behemoths in a very long time. Okay, that is the most upgraded version. It's like, I'm not sure if this is upgraded or what, because it's offering me the opportunity to upgrade the design. Let's go to edit latest and see what the latest is. The latest is these mining modules, which aren't particularly useful. We did just send this behemoth over here to mine stuff, which is fine. We'll set it to mining here, but the reality is we may just want to go ahead and convert this behemoth into something else or bring it back over here. I mean, I'm not entirely sure if you can convert these to juggernauts, but if we can, we'll probably do that. Especially now that we know about this. I'm not sure if you can actually destroy crescents, but if you can, we'll absolutely bring our core cracker over there and try to blow up the crescents. I don't think you can, though. It doesn't make sense since they're not actually planets. Oh, we do have an unassigned hero here. This is correct. Let's go ahead and put him... Oh boy. Do we have a fleet somewhere? Somewhere a fleet. We do not appear to. Okay, well, that being the case, I guess we'll leave him unassigned for one turn, while also switching some system to produce a fleet. Nihal, you seem great. Let's do it with you. We are going to go in and take a look at our carrier here, though, because I do want to start pushing out carriers since we have the tech for it. Definitely do not want carriers with missiles and projectiles. This is not the strength of the Vodyani, realistically. Okay, so they get additional damage on squadrons, additional health on squadrons. Let's go ahead and take a look at squadrons. Squadrons are actually a very useful tool in a fight against the Umbral Choir at this point. They do have a ton of behemoths, which means that these bombers are going to do excellent damage because behemoths are large ships. Let's also go ahead and give them a nice solid laser here, perhaps, or even a beam. We could go either way, to be honest. I think I'm going to go with the laser for right now, though. Definitely give them some movement. They're going to need it to keep up with the other fleets. I believe we roughly do 2 engines on every ship, so that should be plenty right there. Go ahead and give them some nice defenses. I'm actually considering this, but since antimatter is already at a premium for us, it seems like a little bit of a waste to do that. Like, maybe it's a little much. We can go with one more defensive module here. I would like to see what their behemoths were using as weapons. I probably should have done that. So what I'll do is I'm going to do this design. And then, actually, we did this the wrong way anyway. We don't want to do this as the Crusader. We want to name our designs when we do them. So instead, I'm going to come back up here real quick, take a look at their weapon types. Heavily energy, projectile, projectile. Where they're projectile, though, they are just flat-out, like, short-range projectiles. So the main thing we want to worry about is probably that energy, which is fine. What that means is that we can come in here, let's call this anti-armor unit. We'll call it that, because this is essentially our anti-space tank unit right here. We'll go with the Ortram hull, and we will grab them once again, the defenses we were looking at. So this, and additionally, a little bit of this. And then on top of that, we're going to grab bombers here, because it does make sense to bring a lot of them in this case. Got our engine slots available, so 1, 2... And then weapon-wise, we're definitely going to go lasers here. We could go beams, but I still like lasers better for what we're doing. It would be nice if we could get laser bombers. That's actually something we should prioritize, because these projectile bombers are not going to receive a boost from our fleet commander like a laser bomber would. Now, for our last slot, it becomes a serious question of what we want to do with it. We could easily go tractor beam here so that they can't run away, but I don't know if that's actually beneficial in a lot of ways. I feel like plasma intensifier might be good, but we also only have one real laser weapon. So I'm not sure that that's necessarily ideal either. We may be best off just going with this repair module so that we keep these ships healthy and they don't die as much. They are expensive to produce. We are having trouble providing enough resources to produce them. So in my opinion, it makes more sense to do that. I'm going to go with that. So our anti-tank carriers are ready to be produced. Do want to go over here and look at these again real quick. Just want to make sure that we made an accurate assessment of what they're doing. Yeah, they've got some bombers, they've got some fighters. Definitely going to be an interesting little brawl to go after them. Let's take a look at our research tree here and see if we can find the laser bombers slash laser fighters. Those are going to be much, much more useful. Is this them right here? Yeah, it is. Plasma bombers, there we go. So we want that tech. It is way, way back in our... We're just going to keep stacking techs, basically. We're going to keep stacking new techs because it's really all we can do in preparation for this, at least in my opinion. Now let's start putting out some anti-armor units. Now these are 6 CP ships. We do have a current CP cap of 23. So that's what? 6 times 3 is 18, 6 times 4 is 24. We're just off of having 4 of these, so doing 3 is fine for right now. That's probably the maximum we're gonna get. Hopefully that's enough with our hero to actually do some damage to those behemoths. It doesn't necessarily seem like it is. They do have a ton of attack. Like, they have a ridiculous amount of attack. 37,000 on their military behemoth. That is not a small ship, guys. That is gonna be tough for us to fight with. But I'm okay with it. We'll make it work. With this 18 CP here, though, we're going to have roughly another 5 CP available, so we could definitely go with some smaller ships to fill out that fleet. Is that necessarily a good idea, or should we instead look at increasing our CP to get another carrier? It's a very good question right there. That is a very good question. So if we were going to increase our CP, look, we're adding more to our science queue. Who would have thought? That doesn't actually put us out too many turns to do another CP boost. And how much is that? That's another 3. So that would take us from 23 to 26, which would mean we could get 4 carriers and then 2 small ships. I mean, that's doable. That's definitely something to consider. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it. And I think what we'll do in order to facilitate that a little bit better is, if we can, we may not have it yet, we don't. We actually don't have the ability to switch these into turning production into science, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So we'll get there as fast as we can get there. Let's go ahead and end our turn. Wow, I spent a lot of time on that turn. I do apologize, guys, the turns are taking a second. We did just discover giant behemoths in our neighborhood. We do have a little bit of a problem with that. Slingshot Part 2, we got 50 titanium, increase the militarist political ideology, and there is a 50% chance of creating a major political crisis. Focusing on defending yourself, you try not to destroy the incoming rocks, hoping to acquire useful resources. In an ironic denouement, the rocks turn out to be rich in useful minerals and are now floating in easy reach of your scoops. Lovely. So our Endless-born ally shows its true colors. We are not surprised. Please prove us wrong by sending help. Oh, okay, you're wounded. I don't know why, but we can look. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all. Yeah, they have a ton of power. We do not have the option to retreat because they have a tractor beam. This is going to hurt a lot. This is going to hurt an awful lot. Okay, so let's look at their range profiles and see what we can do here. So if we stay at long range, our damage types aren't off too bad on most of our ships. On a few of them, they're off kind of bad. They're kind of bad on these cardboard shields. On everybody else, our damage types aren't that off by staying at long range. These guys are primarily projectile, though. And they are very much short range, but they do have bombers and things like that, so... Oh, this is tough. I have a feeling no matter what we pick here, we're just going to get wrecked, but I'm going to go ahead and use shield absorption. I am going to jump in here and see if we can see anywhere on these cards where it talks about the bomber strategy. Does not seem to really do that. Okay, well, here's what we're going to do. For science, we're going to go ahead and watch this one, because I am interested in seeing if this works out. By staying at long range, if this thing tries to dive into short range so it can maximize its damage, it may end up stuck at medium range, in which case we would be in optimal and it wouldn't, and that could actually work out in our favor. We will find out. I may turn it up to 2 times speed, because if it is a slaughter, then we just want the slaughter to be over. We don't really have an option, though. We're stuck here with no means of retreat because of that tractor beam. It does, however, mean that they dedicated a support slot to the tractor beam, which is actually very good for us. We do have a flotilla advantage as well, which gives us plus 20% damage and plus 10% accuracy. Okay, ×2, here we go. Tactical camera. Come on, guys. I have faith. This fleet's gonna get wrecked. They're gonna be way, way too close when they reach the end here. These guys may be at close range. These guys will probably be at medium range. So for the time being, we're just gonna kind of watch and see what our damage is looking like. Pretty good so far. Pretty good so far. We're doing a lot of damage. It hasn't done a lot of damage to us yet. Things are turning in our favor the longer they go on here, which is excellent for us. We actually haven't taken much damage at all. This is kind of great. This is kind of great. I may have done the right thing strategically here. We are starting to see a lot more damage come through on this fleet because they're getting into that close range where the behemoth is actually going to do its maximum damage. However, our other fleets seem to be I'm stammering because I can't believe this is happening, but they seem to be at their best range. They're optimal right here, so they're just taking this thing out. Wow. This is insane. Are we actually gonna win this? It's a draw because we didn't blow their ship up, but we did a significant amount of damage, and all we lost was 1 not so cheap heat. And they're almost dead. Okay. New plan. Wow, they are coming back though. They are coming back. They have a carrier on the way. They have a hero fleet on the way. They are not gonna stand here and let us shoot at their stuff. However, if we wanted to, we could take a shot here and potentially finish that thing off. I mean, that would be a huge win for us, to just massacre that fleet. I kind of want to do it, guys. I kind of want to do it. I don't know if that's gonna work though. Like, I don't think we get to choose. I think it'll have us attack one of their other behemoths instead. So for the time being, retreat may be the better part of valor. That's what we're gonna do. Not going to take the risk. They are bringing a bunch of fleets back. You've discovered a sanctuary owned by the first refrain on Primus. This is incredible. So just by having this anti-cloaking module, we're able to find all of these things and we can just basically destroy them. I love this. If we invade here, they have like no manpower here either. So we can kind of farm them at this point. It's almost dirty in a way. I'm gonna go ahead and defend here. We may end up needing to build some combat arcs here in a moment. That would be an interesting use of our time. You guys want a truce and you'll give us adamantium. We do have a new enemy. Is that acceptable? Let's find out. Let's see what our war pressure looks like. Our war pressure with them isn't great. It's gonna take us a long time to reach a point where we can truce with them any other way. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. That's fine. Okay. Creature, even the peaceful capture of the choir systems is an act of aggression. Stop immediately. Stop peaceful conversion and reset its progress to 0. I'm fine with that. That gives us a minute with them not directly declaring war so that we can kind of build up our forces. We did not know that there was this stealth army sitting here with a ton of power, although we did decimate that behemoth. That behemoth took some damage. We're gonna refuse the Sophons though, not really worried about them so much. Why yes, Farella, we would love you to have more luxury resource deposits. That would be great. Okay, thanks. You do your job as a good Horatio should. Speaking of good Horatios, I thought this was the other Horatio leveled up. Sad times. So, science is definitely a good pickup here. Yeah, we're gonna go science. Science is the best pickup here for the moment. And then, Scales Galena has leveled up. We'll go with some more influence from Scales. Just beautiful. So that's done. Vodyani Pop has grown on Nair, which is lovely. And then whammo. Alright, everything else is working as it should be. Columba has produced an arc. Mikre, where are you, Mikre? You are way down here. I believe that's the little system. No, it isn't. It's this one. Okay, so Mikre is a system that is generating antimatter and adamantium for us, or just antimatter? Just antimatter. That's fine. Still, a system that is important in what it's generating. We are not going to spend the antimatter for influence there. Does make sense to do big data shipyards here potentially, and then public 3D printing. I generally like doing big data shipyards pretty much everywhere because I never know when I'm going to use a system as a system to produce more ships. This guy is going to fly straight down to Bracia. He should get here in 1 turn. How insane is that? 1 turn to Bracia, guys. Go, dude, go. You fly like an eagle. All right, so you're going to land down here. Are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? You guys are really gonna go there, Riftborn. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. I wonder if the Riftborn are mad because this got marked as a hunting ground, even though we traded with them, which doesn't, to me, make a ton of sense. I mean, that's possible, but it's also kind of silly. Hey, Bracia is ours now. There is a Nash's fleet here, though, to be considered. And obviously, we're gonna want to come in here and do some holy proliferations. Yes, all the holy prolifs here. And then, of course, our basic production, all that things. Wow, this is a great science system. It is a 5-planet science system. That's kind of nice in and of itself. It also has antimatter, which is lovely. Gonna see some good things from that system science-wise in the near future. We were also gonna send a fleet back to Anai, because that was a place where we were getting some more of this adamantium. Something to do in future once again. It honestly feels like now's a good time to switch some of these ships back into Essence, but it also feels like that's going to be a big time sink to get there, so maybe not at this exact moment. Perhaps better to just sort of have this project running over here. Although I do wonder at this point if Nihal is the fastest system. I think Wrath was our fastest production system. We already have some production into one of the anti-armors here. I think what we'll do is we'll drop those last 2. We'll come over to Wrath here, drop this off, and then have Wrath build the other 2. Yeah, that's going to be way faster. That'll be done in 3 turns. That'll be done in 3 turns. We should have the entire fleet within 3 turns ready to go. And then our Riftborn allies are being very upset. They're being very upset. So let's see if they need help somewhere. They want us to attack Imnos, and they need defense help somewhere, because they seemed like they did. They do not. Interesting. So they're just attacking Imnos here, I guess. Alright. I don't know why they got all angry at us. It has to be because of that hunting ground thing, which is really weird, because we actually traded with them for that system. So it is what it is, I suppose. Production going on everywhere, which is lovely. Should be able to boost our pop now. Yes, we can. Beautiful. Beautiful. Generating double the resources from all of our Vodyani population, which is massive at this point. It is massive at this point. We have over 50 Vodyani in our empire. We have 65 that are now generating double the resources. That is just unreal how much that increases things. Look at that. That doubled the production in Wrath. That's insane. Okay. All of that is lovely, but we are out of time. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to go ahead and give us a like or subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time. Bye!